Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, dawn is close, but into the point now where we're at getting later in the year, and we're going to have to just turn on the lamps because dawn is not going to arrive pretty soon at this time in the morning because it's not the real time. It says 5:40, 5:39 a.m. Central Time, but it's really 4:39 real time. This daylight savings time is made up. Daylight saving time because you're not going to save daylight. But anyway, it's not the first pretend thing our governments have given us. Okay, here's Ardbeg 10 Islay single malt Scotch whiskey, aged 10 years. Makes sense, doesn't it? Introduced in the year 2000. It is non-chill filtered. And if I could get it to focus, that would be a big help. And there it goes. There we go. You non-chill filtered. It's called the Ultimate. And no coloring added. Real color, no caramel color added. Green bottle, typical olive green bottle that you see on so many wines and whiskeys, which protects it from the light better than clear, like this bottle. This is the Benriach. The Benriach. Aged 10 years. Curiositas. It's a peated Speyside. You say a peated? No, Speyside is bready and all of that. I know. But this is a strange, unusual peated Speyside, which is why they call it the Curiositas, because it's going to make you curious. And you'll be curious if you could ever. You might be curious if you can find it. This I do not know because I have bad news. It's discontinued for about 4 years now, I think. Something like that. I saw a video that they had made from 4 years ago where their brand representative or their blend master was talking about it. But for whatever reason, Brown-Forman, who owns the Benriach distillery, both have foil cap covers. Whatever reason, they decided to drop it. I don't control them, Whatever they want to do. They had Brown-Forman dropped another single malt, the Glenglassaugh Evolution. I liked it, but gone. Now I got it right every time until I went and put the Benriach up against Finlagan and I got all mixed up. And I thought the Benriach was the Finlagan, and I thought the Finlagan was the Benriach. So I was embarrassed. Okay, that was yesterday afternoon. Didn't plan it that way. It's just the way it worked out. Okay. Sorry to say. So that's Brown-Forman discontinued. Now, Ardbeg 10 is very easy to find. A lot of liquor stores sell it. Thurns has it. I think Walmart has it. In that cabinet. They got it locked up so you can't steal. This is real cork for both of them. Where did I put that cork? Oh yeah, I put the cork back in the bin. So real cork. I bought this at Star, and it was $44.99. But the price has gone up with the JB inflation, So that put the cork back in there. Put the cap cover back on. Okay. This is owned by LVMH. That's the name of the company, LVMH. They own the distillery, LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. Louis Vuitton Moet and Hennessy merged, and they made one company. So, like, you know, a French company. Okay. It's not the only Scotch whiskey owned by a French company. There's La Martiniquais, and I think they own Cutty Sark. I knew they own Cutty Sark, and they own some other. I think they own Glenmorangie, if I'm not mistaken, but could be wrong. But I know La Martiniquais owns Cutty Sark. They had bought it from the Edrington Group of England. Okay, got it well mixed. They're both pale, straw appearances. You can see. So see, that's what they look like when you don't add color. They're just pale straw. Kind of a yellowish, greenish yellow thing. But a lot of companies wanted to look more darker. They do that with the Foster's Premium Ale. Foster's Premium Ale, which I love, used to be called Foster's Premium Bitters, but they changed it. I think Americans wouldn't buy it because they were saying bitter. I'm not drinking something bitter. It might hurt me. So they were like, okay. And then one day it just, before I ever saw it, because I saw it on the website, Premium Bitter, and then one day it was Foster's Premium Ale. I said, well, it was the same specs though, 5.5%. Made in Houston, Texas under license, certified kosher, and it has caramel color added. That's why I'm bringing that up. It would be pale like these, but they add caramel color, make it look like a dark beer or a mid-range color beer, but it's not. Not in reality, but in this final presentation it is, but minus the color in it wouldn't be. Okay, let's go. Aroma time. I don't need to close my eyes now. I already mixed them up. As long as I could see the label through the glass. Okay, short and stout beer review says, cheers, Ron. Ardbeg 10 is incredible. I haven't tried the other one though yet. The other one's sort of rare. But I did see a lot of video reviews for it. I think I still have some left to watch, if I'm not mistaken. But I might have done them all. I was just talking about Australian beer. B, Australian B, as they say B. I thought a B was a little thing that flew around or a letter in the alphabet. But an ale, Foster's Premium Ale, which I don't think they sell in Australia, but it's made under license in not Houston, Fort Worth, Texas. And I was remarking how they add caramel color to it, make it look darker. It's a wonderful flavor. It's 5.5% alcohol. They do use corn in it, corn syrup, I think. Or as they call it, brewer syrup. It's not the kind of corn syrup you can buy at the grocery store. And it's like 40 bitterness units. That's why I used to call it Foster's Premium Bitter. Okay, these are going to be smoky. They're not going to be bitter at all. They'll be sweet. Not really smoky in the nose. The green can, right. The green and gold can. Whereas the Foster's 5% lager here, 5% is blue can. Now, see, Australians don't like Foster's, but y'all get a 4%er. That wouldn't fly over here. If they sold Foster's at 4%, it never would have made it over here. Wouldn't have made it. But they always sold a 5%. When they used to have it in the bottles, I have an old bottle I can show you, embossed bottle with the F, look nice. And that was made in Canada. I don't know who was making it in Canada under license. Then they moved production to Houston, Texas. They dropped the bottles and went to the just only the oil, what they call the oil cans, because they look like the old oil cans that we used to get, steel cans, like Pennzoil or Valvoline, you know. No, I mean, but yeah, so it's pretty popular actually. You know, a lot of people drink it. They don't run commercials anymore. They used to run a lot of commercials in the 1980s and 90s. Foster's, Australian for beer, but then that went away after Miller bought it. Actually, once Miller, well, they didn't buy it. They got the right. You know what I'm saying? After they, well, actually, SAB Miller bought it. South African Beverages Miller bought it, but they end up selling it to their rival, Anheuser-Busch InBev of all things. So funny thing about it, Anheuser-Busch InBev owns Foster's, but it's produced under license at the Miller Brewery in Fort Worth, Texas. So they make their arch rivals beer. Funny. Yeah, it's always 5% here, but you rarely see it now. It originally was 5%. Because I know I was looking at the Cub Carlton United Brewery's website and they were showing as 4%er. I said, oh no, 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 no. Can't handle that. Now I'd like to try that Foster's Gold that they sell in India. The red and gold can, 8%. I think it's actually 7.9 because in India you can't go above 8 or some crazy cockamamie law. But 8% Foster's, 7.9. That would be something to try. Those Indian beers have a twang to them. Let's say, okay, and it's made by Foster's India. Okay, which used to be SAB Miller, but like I don't know who's brewing. Well, really, I don't know who's brewing it now. It could be the same people. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. This one's more smoky. So initially, I'm thinking it's the Ardbeg 10 because the Ardbeg 10 is smoke all about. Up, down, front to back, and diagonal. It's just smoky. The Benriach is smoky, but it's not overwhelmingly so like that. Okay. Yeah, over in the United Kingdom, they have a lower percentage Foster's, and everyone is going off complaining about it. Yeah, they get the 4% also. Like I say, in the U.S., that would tank. It wouldn't make it. Wouldn't make it. We got light beers, 4.2 usually, 4.2 or 4.1. But those are marketed as light beers. Busch Light, Bud Light, Miller Light. Coors Light, and so forth. Okay, let's get this going. Smoky, compared to all the other ones I did, yeah. But today, not really. It's smoky. Let's not play games. It's smoky. It's sweet. It has the fermented and then distilled cereal grain, namely barley, malted barley, the only grain it contains. So that's really the components: smoke and cereal. Smoke and cereal. Okay, nice. Maybe more cereal than smoke. Let's go over here. Cereal, yes. Sweet barley, yes. Malted barley, yes. But embers, charcoal, char. And see, that's what got me on the last one because I was tasting those embers and the charcoal and all of these things. And I thought it was the Benriach, but it was the Finlagen. So the Islay won the battle. The battle. The Islay came through, but I got it mixed up. Now, the Islay whiskey seems to be coming in, battling with the smoke. And this Benriach space, I cannot compete. Cannot compete. And the funny thing about it, I think it's actually more expensive. If you find the Benriach, it's like $65. And I could get this one 55, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 50, but I doubt it. But 55, yes, I can get it for 55, 99, 56. Okay. So I wish I could still get it for 44.99, but I can't. Now the Benriach, I got it on a great sale, the greatest deal in the history of deals. Like literally, the price I paid was the greatest deal ever in the history of buying an alcoholic beverage in the world. Because I found this $65 bottle for $9. Let me repeat that. $9.99. Are you hearing what I'm saying? $9.99. True story, not making that up. Of course, I had to pay tax, so it came out to just about 11. But $9.99 plus tax. So you cannot believe it. I could not believe it when I bought it, but I guess I did believe it because I bought it. Now, is there any left at that store? I seriously doubt that. Because that was what, 2, 3, 4 months ago. But hey, I wasn't going to buy a bunch. I wasn't going to be greedy. Let other people buy it. Now, my friend David bought a whole bunch of bottles, whole bunch, but not to drink. Well, one to drink, or maybe two. But he bought the other rest. He said, "I'm gonna give these as gifts." He said, because the people are not gonna know it was $9.99. They're gonna look it up and say, "Oh, why he bought me a $65 bottle?" I said, "Right." I said, "What's wrong with that? You bought it. You got a quality product. Hey, you got it for $9.99. So, hey, it's no problem." Yeah, over in Short and Stout says, yeah, Ardbeg is very peaty. P-E-T-E-Y. Yes, P-E-A-T-Y, but that's all right. As soon as you pop the bottle, it normally hits your nose. Yeah. Sugar, cereal grain, smoke. Now, if you keep sipping on it, you'll notice the smoke will dissipate. It won't stay around. Once these things breathe, I mean, it'll be there, but it won't be like when you first crack the bottle. When you first pop the top and you pour it, it's like I said, smoke, embers, charcoal, embers, like the wood is still glowing in the fire and that kind of thing. But then as it dissipates, or the fumes go out and it settles down and it breathes, what they call it, but then it kind of fades away, and then you just mainly have the cereal grains. Now, do I have any blended whiskeys with a smoke character? Yes. White Horse has a little tiny bit because they put some Coela in it, but it isn't much. The Johnny Walker Red has more smokiness. A pretty good amount of smokiness, honestly. It's only aged 3 years, but they're using what are they using in that? Aberfeldy, one of those. I'd have to look that up. I think that, but so they're using a smoky Scotch, and it's giving it that. Johnny Walker Double Black is even more smokier. Double Black. The Gold Label Reserve has a little, just a touch, just a touch, but it's mostly honey. See, so they're using what they call honey malts, like barley malts. They have like a honey flavor. There's no honey added, but it kind of gives you that presentation. Now they have the Johnny Walker 18-year age at Mathern's, little sample bottles, little airplane bottles that they got on the airplane. But I'm not paying that exorbitant price. I say, oh no. I'm sure it's very nice, but no. Those little bottles are not a value. They're good to taste. But I would just buy the full-size bottle. Now the next Johnny Walker I'm going to buy is going to be the black. I've never had the black, the 12-year age. Can you believe it? I've had the double black many times, but I never had the just the standard black that goes back to 1867. Yep. You say, no, it's 1909, dummy. No, that's when they renamed it Johnny Walker Black and Johnny Walker Red in 1909. In 1867, it was introduced as Johnny Walker Old Highland Reserve and Old Highland Reserve 12-year. They just wanted to rebrand it, which worked because now it's the #1 selling whiskey in the world. Did the same thing with Frederick Miller Lager. Frederick Miller Lager, 1855 when it hit the market. Now, was it the same as today? Not exactly, but it probably was similar. But it got rebranded in 1903 as Miller High Life with the girl in the moon on it, wearing those Knickerbocker outfit, whatever she's wearing with those boots. She's a hipster. and she's on a swing or something. It's weird, but they don't know who that girl was. Maybe a close friend of Frederick Miller, but whatever. But that really took off. It's the same, but they didn't change the beer. They did not change the recipe, or it's not a new beer. So when they say since 1903, they mean the name Miller High Life since 1903. If you read the website carefully, it even tells you the beer goes back to 1855. Okay, Benriach, good stuff. But compared to Ardbeg, it's not smoky. Isn't that funny? On its own, you drink it in isolation, it's a smoke attack. Put it against Ardbeg, got no smoke. Isn't it strange how these beers are different in a relative sense? You try it Monday and it's like this. And you try it Tuesday against something else and it's got another characteristic. You try it Wednesday and it changes again. Keep changing. But if you only drink it alone, it wouldn't really change. Okay, so that's why taste challenges are important and blind taste tests are much more important. You got to do it blind. If you're doing it just looking at the bottles, nah, you're wasting time, honestly. That's why they did the Pepsi challenge blind. It was a blind taste test. It wasn't open. You didn't know which one you were drinking. And Pepsi would win all the time, or most of the time. They always bragged on television about that. Pepsi wins the challenge. We're in front of St. Louis Cathedral in the French. I remember they did that in Jackson Square in the French Quarter. I remember that commercial. And we letting people try it. Oh, they picking Pepsi. But there were deeper studies done with that. I read a study. They say it's true. The initial preference was for Pepsi, but that was only with 1 or 2 sips. Like that's what the challenge would be. Little sips from their plastic cup. Blind. Okay, fine. They said, but what Pepsi Company, PepsiCo did not tell you was when they kept sipping it through the whole can or bottle, guess what happened? They end up preferring Coca-Cola over the whole experience of the bottle or can because they felt like Pepsi was too sweet and cloying. So you got to watch these commercials carefully because they're only going to give you, it's not that they lied. They did not lie. But they only gave you part of the information. So it was deceptive in a sense. It's like reading these German National Socialist articles that I can get those 2 books at somebody took all these German magazines called the Signal magazine, big glossy full color magazine. They say Time and Life kind of copied it. It was the first big magazine to have that, big pages, glossy, like real superb photography. Signal magazine, published until 1945 when it ended for obvious reasons. But anyway, it was published by the German government, the Schutzstaffel, that outfit. You might have heard of the SS Schutzstaffel. All right. So the articles are very interesting. Like they go through the whole, it starts at I think they started publishing it in 1940. And I was reading the English edition, which was sold in the Channel Islands. Jersey, Guernsey, Sark. And some people kept it, like they probably hated what they were reading, but they kept it, just like a collectible type of thing. Like I had some leftover stuff from the Second World War collectibles, very interesting collectibles. But and then somebody took those and put them in a book form, hardcover, which I like. So I was reading the articles, but it's funny when you read the articles. I'm like talking about the Pepsi challenge. When you read the articles, it's not like they're lies. It's like they don't actually tell lies. Like they'll talk about the First World War, they'll talk about the British Empire, or they'll talk about more or less anything. It's that they just don't mention certain topics, or they'll like ignore certain events of history. You see what I'm saying? Like you go through that whole series, you never read about the Czech Republic getting invaded in March 1939. You read nothing about that. It doesn't exist. So it's not like they lied about it. They just didn't mention it. So it's sort of like a backdoor lie. You know what I'm saying? And but it still serves the same purpose because it will cloud. If you only have exposure to that viewpoint, it could cloud your mind. And I've had people approach me on the internet, and they definitely subscribe to that viewpoint, and they'd be like all like wound up. They always be wound up. Real energized. Let's call it. Oh, you got to read this, or don't you know about this? And I'm like, I know all about all that. Okay. I said, but you're not going to turn me into a national socialist because I don't support socialism, whether it's national or international. And then they'd be talking about, well, Germany, blah, blah, had to do this and all that. And I'm like, but you act like, it's like you never heard of this event. They don't want to talk about it. I said, okay, I'm not playing games on the channel. Okay, I'm not here to play games. I'll talk about history all day, but I'm not going to overlook certain things like they didn't happen. And that's what those magazine articles would do. It's like the Molotov-Ribbentrop Agreement of August 23rd, 1939. That didn't exist. It never happened. They didn't say it didn't happen. They didn't say that's a lie. They just didn't mention it. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think those guys were lying all the time, lying. No, that's not really what they were doing. They were more clever than that. They just would omit important details of history. Well, when you go around omitting details, then we got a problem. Okay, and back to these. I don't think either company here is omitting anything or trying to be deceptive or cagey or like I was talking about the Pepsi challenge, which was very clever. But when you dig deeper, then I was like, okay. All right, now these, I think this one to my right is the Ardbeg 10. And it is. So there's no getting around it. Ardbeg 10 is the smoke king in my experience. You say, oh, there's way smokier products than that. That's pablum. That's baby food and smoke. You don't know smoke. Okay, you're right. It's baby food and smoke. I don't know smoke. Look, I never claimed to have tried the world's smokiest whiskeys or the world's most bitter beers. I'm not claiming that. Would I try them? Sure, I'd try them. Assuming I'd be able to find them. But then people would be like, oh, there it is. It's only $350. It's like, no, I'm not going to pay $350 to try smoke. I know what smoke is like. You say, but it's the ultimate. It's super smoky. It's more smoky than smoke. It's beyond smoke. Okay, I can imagine how that would be. I'm not paying $350 to find out. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Okay, I get it. It's spicy. It's hot. It's the world's hottest spice. It's the most spiciest. It's the hottest hot sauce in the world. I get it. Okay, I know it. If you drink it, if you put 1 milliliter on it, it'll blow up your house. It's the spice, most hottest hot sauce. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm so impressed. It's like Paul McCartney would say, maybe I'm amazed, but yeah, okay, so we get that. All right, so did Benriach do well? Yes, the Benriach did quite well. And to me, but that's of course a personal preference issue more than quality issue, it did rampage through all the single malts that I have. But they're all mostly Speyside. I have a few Highland. So that has to be taken into account. And I already said my personal preference was the smoke. Secondly, when it went up against Finlagen and Ardbeg 10, which are Islas, the only two Islas I've got at this time, it couldn't match up. Couldn't make it. Couldn't make it. Definitely didn't make it against Ardbeg 10, who is still the champ of all of my single malt Scotch whiskeys. People ask me all the time, what's your favorite single malt? I never hesitate. I say Ardbeg 10. So far now. Okay, last comments. Evan Williams, Black Label, waiting for that review, says McDonald's 5 deal. I've reviewed it. It's on my channel. I reviewed Evan Williams Black Label. I had a 375 milliliter bottle that I bought at a liquor store in Frankfort, Kentucky. Didn't last that long. It was only a half-size bottle. I did the green label many times. Evan Williams green label 80 proof, sour mash, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, charcoal filtered. I still got that. I have almost a whole 750 milliliters. Still $4.99 for a half size. I'm not going to name the store because y'all going to run over there and make the price go up. So Evan Williams green label, I can still get it, a 750 milliliter amount for $9.98. Is it world class? No, obviously not. Is it pretty dang good? Yes, it is, especially considering $9.98. Some people, they're ridiculous. They get on the internet talking about, oh, Evan Williams, that's trash. I would rather drink horse urine than that. If I went to a party and all they had was Evan Williams, I would just drink water. They're lying. They're clearly lying. There's no way they would believe that. First, they never had urine. And secondly, if they go to a party and somebody has Evan Williams, they're going to drink it. They're not going to drink water. It's like Bud Light. They say, I would never drink Bud Light. If I went to a party and all they had was Bud Light, I'd drink water. They're not. They're just lying. It's like, why you got to be so extreme with that? Would I want to drink Bud Light at a party? Not really. But to sit here and pretend like it's some horrible product, like it's so bad, I can't stand it, I'll dump the can out. It's terrible. It upsets me. And I got 3 snaps for you if you believe that. Or if you don't agree with that. No, it's a joke. It's just an ordinary product. It'd be like saying Jif peanut butter is horrible, I'll dump it out. It's not horrible. It's just normal. It's just standard. Enough's enough. They got too many people on the internet going around being dramatic, talking about every ordinary product is horrible and it's a drain pour. Do they have drain pours in the beer world? Yes. They're not common. Do they have drain pours in the whiskey world? I'm about to bring one in that is arguably that way, but that's so rare. But it's not really that bad, but it's definitely not good. So dramatics, they don't really help your channel because you're stating things that are clearly not true. But anyway, enough. That being said, we out of here. That's it for the single malts. Maybe next year, well, God willing, if I'm alive, they're coming back next year because I got a whole bunch more single malts coming into play. But now we're moving on to blended Scotch. And you're gonna have to bear with me on this one. This could be bad for the channel. When I bring this in, this could be bad. This could be real bad. Oh man. Cheers, McDonald's, Big Mac, and a Heineken. Yes, I like both of those. I don't adore them. And I got to go investigate because somebody gave me an alert last night, overnight, that Heineken, he found some Heineken. It was made in Mexico. I said, I'm on the case. I'm on the case. All right, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.